Troy, hey, it's a pleasure to meet you because you're a legend and one of the most experienced riders in the paddock. What really made you ride the bikes? What really made you race and get into this sport?
Well, my mother and father rode motorcycles just for recreation and some competition when I was younger, so I was introduced to motorcycling quite young. And I really enjoyed riding a bike. Yeah, it's a good experience and a good emotion.
There are lots of talented riders from Australia. What do you think is the reason that so many riders from Australia get to the level of World Championship and win the World Championship very often?
Well, I'm not really sure. I think obviously we start riding reasonably young out there. In the past, you could pretty much ride. We have a lot of land, obviously, in Australia, so mini bikes and recreation riding was pretty high. Unfortunately, it's getting harder and harder now as the green people come in and make it a bit more difficult to ride on the land. But no, I think for sure. I think it's just the drive of the Australians. To get an opportunity to get out of Australia, to leave Australia and race in Europe or in America or in the World Championship. I guess because it's a long way away from Australia, that the thought of having to go all the way back again is probably why we try so hard. So yeah, it's difficult to say. It's just fortunate that we do have some good riders. I've been in World Superbike now for 17 years. For sure, the level of competition is as high as what it ever has been. I think for sure the machinery and the support from the manufacturers has definitely improved. The circuits that we race at are more or less the same circuits that when I first come over. We're still racing at them, and the lap times obviously have gotten a lot faster. So yeah, I think just the general development of everything on the electronic side of bikes now, tyre technology, engine management and everything. Also the brakes have come a long way also. So and the weight of the bike has come down dramatically. So no, it's been good to see the full circle. So come here as to win the championship as one of the youngest riders, and then to win it as one of the oldest riders when I did in 05 on Suzuki. Was fantastic. It's good to see the full circle and to be one of the older guys, I guess, in the championship, racing against the young kids, as I was when I first came over. I was a young kid racing against the likes of Fogarty and Russell and guys like this. So to still be competitive and up the front, I feel pretty happy. Well, yeah, I think every manufacturer, the dream is to rule the world, I guess. Obviously Ducati has a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge in the racing world. For sure, the BMW, the inline 4 engine configuration that we run on the BMW is quite similar to the Yamaha that I rode back in 07. This is probably one of the most difficult engines to ride, really, to be honest, because it's more of a peaky engine, a bit more like a screamer engine, if you want to say this, compared to, say, the Ducati, the Yamaha now, the Aprilia, are all like a big bang, like a lot smoother power delivery. So for sure the BMW engine is a lot more difficult to ride at high speeds in competition. A lot more critical to have the gearing and electronics all working correctly. And this is what's taking us some time now, is just to try to control the amount of power that we have from the BMW engine, because we have huge amounts of power, which is good, but we have some power in areas that we don't really need it. And this is creating either wheel spin or wheelie. But no, we're starting to understand now how we need to change the power curve. Is something that all manufacturers do from year to year. They always move this around to get the best performance from the chassis. So yeah, this is the areas that we still need to improve on the bike. I honestly feel the electronic side of the bike. BMW chose to build their own electronic system on the machine, which is different to the stock bike, for example. They have a system that they basically use from another supplier. Our system for sure is very, very technical and takes a lot of work. I think we really need to improve in this area because it's not always stable, depending on the grip. Also the temperature of the day seems to make a big effect, which other systems, I'm sure with the experience that they have built in a window that you can work in. So I said in 3 years we've really been, the major thing that we still haven't really got on top of is the electronics on the bike and the power delivery. The chassis, I feel that we have made big steps, as with the suspension and stuff. But so yeah, I think if we need to make another step, for sure, I think with when BMW go to GP, I don't think they'll be supplying the electronics for the teams. They'll have their own Morelli system, for example, which is proven and tested. So maybe this will be a better application for maybe the superbike in the future. Well, I'm hoping that we get the opportunity to test this, to see, and see if we can improve more. You know, really, to do a fast lap time, you really don't want to push too hard, because it's when you can make some mistakes and obviously crash. But sometimes if you feel like you are going fast, you're not actually going fast because you're forcing. So, which seems to be the case at some circuits more than others. Some circuits you really do have to push hard to get the time to come. Here at Assen, for example, is a circuit where if you try to push, you go slower, even with more grip, which I think this was probably the issue today that we had, that we have more grip. The feeling is, okay, now I want to push some more, but the time is slower. So, but this also comes down to the balance of the bike and the consistency of the electronics and the control of the bike, really. So it's now the bikes are a lot more, you could say, difficult to set up, because we have so much more stuff we must adjust, where before we just had the throttle connection, suspension, and the rider made the difference, where now the electronics can assist in all these areas, and if it's not right, it's actually more difficult to ride the bike. Well, it's something that area that we need to test. It's something that we have never changed on the bike since day one. We've always stayed with the same electronics team and package. So, you know, I think if we tested this area, maybe we could find something. But no, like I said, you have to test these things to try. So hopefully this will be something we can try before the end of the season, and if we find an improvement, then we can use this next year. BMW have a good range of cars, so I was always a fan of BMW. I had an M3 some years ago, and I get the opportunity to drive some of the X5s, X6, but I'd really like to have an opportunity to have a drive in the touring car, BMW touring car. I had the opportunity to drive the BMW Formula 1 car last season, which was a fantastic opportunity and experience. So yeah, you know, it's something that I enjoy. It's feels a lot more safe when you're sitting inside a car. But yeah, you know, it's for me it's just a bit of fun, and like I said, it's a great opportunity to be working with BMW, because maybe something like this could happen in the future to continue a racing career.